Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. Welcome to the Linda Banks Show on TV, Bakwetu. And I'm your host, Linda Banks. You can follow the program on all our social media handles. Do share the link and feel free to tag a friend. Wakopala, if you're in the house. Twamisekela, Mudibwanji, Mudishani, welcome. If you know anyone who has been affected by some of the topics that we're going to be covering tonight, kindly let them know, let them tune in, particularly if you are from Chingola. We posted the topics that we're going to be covering. Please let them know that we are live so that we can have an in-depth conversation. I will soon be joined by the TV Bakwetu crew who are going to give their deliberations on the various topics that we're going to be covering. And thereafter, once the team has finished giving their deliberations, we're going to give you a phone number. So we're going to open the lines up for you guys to call in if you have anything to add. Now, it goes without saying that it's totally dangerous to construct houses near an active airstrip. And not only is it dangerous, but it is also illegal to do so. The thing is, I think we're speaking to the already converted. When you have planes passing through the Zambian airstrips and the planes find themselves in difficulty, in a bit of distress, they will be redirected to these particular airstrips, like the one where the houses have been demolished in Chingola, the particular one we're going to be talking about. And obviously, that is very dangerous. If you could literally just cast your mind to a time when there was an accident in France and thousands of people were killed as a result of an aeroplane that just came from nowhere. Obviously, it was in distress, but there were houses in this particular place. So I just wanted to give that as a disclaimer as we start discussing the topics that we're going to be discussing. So there's been the government has been demolishing houses that belonged to some residents in Chingola, and a lot of you are up in arms, not impressed. Some of you are on the side of the government that they've done the right thing. There's got to be law and order, and things have to be done in a particular way, and that's fair enough. Now, I think the bone of contention has been the process on how the whole thing has happened. But before we dive deep into that and other topics, including the interview that the Minister of Information has just been having, I've just been following right before coming live, believe it or not. I've been enjoying listening to her talk to Grevazio. So we're going to touch slightly on that. We're also going to talk about the interview that the Republican president had with two members of staff from Hot FM. So we're going to touch on that and a few other trending topics. So feel free to join in. Before I introduce my colleagues, let me just have a quick look to see who is here. Now, can you just let me know if you can hear me? Because I can see some people saying that I'm not audible enough. Just type in, yes, we can hear you, if you can hear me. And let me know where you're watching me from. Let's have a look. We have Enoch Kawungo from London, Croydon, not Brixton, Croydon. Hi, Wakwetu, nice to see you. Law and order, gosh, Davis Simbai. It's nice to see Davis because I saw Davis on Kelvin Chander's program. So this is lovely. Let's have a look. Who else is here? I'm following from Roma Park, Lusaka. Now, can you hear me all right? Because we've been having technical problems and I'm so sorry. We're several minutes late. We were bang on time. My team was ready, but we just could not get going. Let's have a look. Who else is here? Loud and clear, Lord William. Oh, that's an interesting name. Puerto DRC. Goodness. Okay. Long way from home. Let's have a look. We've got Stuta, loud and clear, watching from Kitwe, Black Mountain. Who else is here? Let's have a look. Yes, I can hear Linda from Roma Park, Lusaka. Thank you so much. Who else is here? Keep them coming. John says, hi, Linda. Hi. Nice to see you, Patrick Brian Mpande Jr. watching from Wengwe. Now, where's okay? I'm ashamed to ask to actually have to ask this. Where is Wengwe? Victor says, "Gosh, they're coming thick and fast. I'm trying to get as many of you on the screen as possible. Let's have a look." Because it's really nice to see that you have tuned in. And it also gives us time to wait for the others who are just getting those notifications. Now, I have mentioned in the past, a few of you have been saying the TV Bakwetu page is not getting enough traffic. And the reason is, I think Mark Zuckerberg had a bit of a falling out. I think Bali Lakana admin wesu. So Bali to be choir. Hopefully by September things will get better. Fabian says, watching from Kalulushi, Copper Belt. Gosh, but Copper Belt now Muisa. Masheke, there's no masheke here and say kapano. Maybe you've started looking like Haka. Bashiniza Mufulira, Bakopa Belt, you're here in the house. I'm so happy. Nice to see you. Hi, Linda, watching from Kafue. That's wonderful. Let's have a look who else is here. Watching from Lusaka Mass Media. Good evening. And you're watching your minister. I think she's at Mass Media right now, doing fabulous job. Hello, Linda, watching from Kolwezi, DRC. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you so much, guys. It's clear that you are all here and you're following. Now, I'm going to be sending a link in the comment section below. So if you want to take part in the program, please feel free to do so. Perry, good evening. You're waiting patiently right there.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see you. Now, can you just tell our viewers where you are and what time it is where you are?
Well, I moved from Ottawa. I'm in the Northwest Territories, and the time is let me check. It's 1:26. That's 13:26.
13:26, and it's 21:31 in Zambia.
Yes.
Brilliant. We have been joined by another one of our colleagues, Chanda Kelvin Shimba, who has been working so hard. Second program in a few hours.
99 jobs.
99 jobs. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Linda. Hi, Per.
Hey, how are you, Chanda?
I'm doing good, sir.
Great.
Thanks.
Excellent. Now, gentlemen, we have got quite a few sizzling topics that are flying about. Now, I think we're going to start with the elephant in the room, the biggest. And oh gosh, people have already started commenting. Right, keep the comments coming in, which is exciting. And now I just have to give you a disclaimer, you guys, because people get really upset and terribly emotional. I know you're very passionate, and it's fine to be passionate. But if I differ with your view, it does not mean that I don't like you anymore. It just means that I've got a different viewpoint, and we need to reach a point where we can have mature politics where we can agree to disagree. We can have different viewpoints, and that's healthy. Ultimately, we all want the same for the country, and we have established the fact that what has been happening in Chingola is illegal, as in, mushrooming houses, people just building houses here and there. However, the process that the demolition has been done is what we are trying to. Someone is saying no sound, please. Mundia, you can't hear me. If gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
So Mundia, I would suggest log out and start again. Maybe there's something wrong with your device. We had issues with our devices earlier. So anyway, as I was saying, giving you a disclaimer, it's absolutely fine for us to have a different viewpoint. Now, I'm going to start with Kelvin. So the government, or the council, shall we say, has demolished several houses belonging to hundreds of people in Chingola. First things first, what is your view on that? Was that the right thing to do? Where do you stand?
Oh, great. Watching that video gave me goosebumps for several reasons. First of all, that you're looking at the socioeconomic status of the individuals whose houses were demolished.
Mhm.
Uh, these are probably people that got loans from the banks to build. These are people that probably run businesses. These are people who are using pension funds, for instance, to
Mhm.
construct a dwelling place. And to see the council move in and demolish their structures, that was heart wrenching. But then again, like you said, there's obviously two sides to every coin.
Mhm.
Um, Demolishing those structures because they were built apparently on an airstrip or 500 meters from an airstrip might be some justification. But for me, it's the process, right? Um, where these individuals engaged by the council, were they provided with alternative solutions, right? Did the council dig into how these people acquired this land? You see that? Because if these things were addressed, I'm sure we as a people would have come up with an amicable solution, a win-win solution, a win for our people, a win for the council, right? But then again, the question that begs to be asked is, how viable is this airstrip? Who uses it? What is it being used for? Could
Mhm.
we not have relocated the airstrip to some other place if it's not busy, right? I know that government, both central and local, I know that their job is to maintain order through enforcement of the law, right?
Mhm.
That is not in dispute. But then again, government must be empathetic, especially in an economy like ours, right? Um, to move in and just raise structures that have been put up, uh, for me, it doesn't sit well. I wish that stakeholders came together, brainstormed on the best solution for our people and the best solution for the local authorities. You see, but yeah, I'll stop right there for now.
Okay. So, Perry, things that we have to consider, obviously, we wanted to establish whether it was legal or illegal to build these houses. And everyone is in agreement that it was illegal. Is it dangerous? Yes, it is dangerous. Is it humane to just demolish these houses without a proper process? And this is where we all agree that it's not humane. Now we want to find out the viability, like Kelvin has said, the viability of this airstrip. How often is it used? Why is the government in a hurry? Why has the government or the council suddenly decided to do this? It's people are suspicious. I mean, we're coming from a government that wasn't transparent, and this president has been on record several times to say that they're going to be honest. And actually, the Minister of Information, I was just listening to her a few minutes ago, she was emphasizing the fact that this government will be transparent in anything and everything that it does. Now, was this government transparent when doing this? Did they speak to the people? There are structures on the ground, they have councillors. Did the councillors from the structures sit down with the local people to discuss what was going to happen? And from their conversations I've had with various people on the ground, this did not happen. What is your view, Chloe, on this?
Well, it's really a sad incident, right? And Kevin just explained a whole bunch of things. And for me, before you build, right, the council offers you a building permit.
Mhm.
So again, you have to look at where the UPND is coming from, and then for me, I look at Forest 27. I think. Uh, if those guys broke the law by building where they're not supposed to, it's the same with
Mhm.
the other guys. So why would you want to have a firmer hand on the people that are poor, and then the rich, you can't even touch them. So
Mhm.
for me, I would say it's, for lack of a better term, I would say those are double standards. And what government was supposed to do was wait up until they resolve the Forest 27 issue. That's when they would, if they're going to pretty much bring those buildings down, then do the same at the other side as well. Because you, they have it's the same reasons, right? But why would you have the other ones? You say the issue is in court and you can't deal with it, and then uh, the other ones, because they are poor, you just bring down the building. So for me, um, the UPND have to create a situation where each and every person feels like like the equitable treatment. Like they have to,
Mhm.
we need to have a feeling of belonging. Not if you don't have money, you feel as a secondary citizen. So
Mhm.
I think this also left a sour taste in my mouth. But as I said, I don't know what the agency was, as I Chanda said. But the most important aspect right now, for me, if I were UPND, I would have waited up until they resolve the Forest 27 issue. That's when they were going to tackle that. The same reason they're going to bring those buildings down, that would have applied to the other one. So it's like you have two kids and then you treat the other one better than the other one because the other one has more money and the other one doesn't. So I think it was done in a bad way. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, gentlemen, I don't know if you know about this. So there's a ZAF base in Long Acres, Lusaka. There's an airstrip there, and there's a lot of well-off people who've got houses there, including the late President Mwanawasa. Um, and that actually airstrip, the current president still uses that, but there's so many houses there. Why haven't those houses been demolished? That's the question that I would love someone to answer as well. And another point I was thinking, what message is the government sending to the people of Chingola who voted in their thousands for this government? Now, someone challenged me on social media, quite rightly so. They were like, Linda, we're trying to do different kind of politics, not thinking about votes. However, if a people like the people of Chingola decided to switch allegiance, and I don't know if you guys are from Copper Belt, I know, but yeah,
Yes.
you know how Fueba Copper Belt to our once they team up and are resolved to do a particular thing, let's say 2026, they're like, we cannot be treated like this, and this is it. Copper Belt people just switch just like that, and look at the.
So Linda, I think the person that challenged you on social media was
Mhm,
right in a way, right? We all know there are so many things that are wrong about our country, right? We all know there are no processes, there are no systems, there are no procedures, because if there were, these people would not have been allocated land near an airstrip. They would
mhm,
not have started building. Before you build, does the council certify your building plans? If they do, right, who signed off of those building plans without checking where the location of these plots, was? You see that? Now, when people talk about we're not doing this for votes, I like it. And the reason I like it is yes, we're going to need sanity at some point.
mhm,
But before that sanity is brought, you have to think about the people. First and foremost, you have to think about the people. You have
mhm.
to engage all affected stakeholders and
Yeah.
come up with a solution, an
Mhm,
amicable solution. You see that? A lot of people have questioned why didn't we relocate the airstrip? I'll give you a perfect example. If somebody encroached in KKIA airport space, started building houses in there, of
mhm,
course, I would be the first one to say, get rid of these houses because one, they're not just a security threat. Two, they're encroaching in a busy airport. That's a well-established structure. This is an airstrip. Okay, we
mhm,
can simply, there are no control towers at airstrips.
mhm,
Even if a plane is redirected to go to an airstrip, there are no control towers. You see that? So, what infrastructure have we put in these airstrips that we are guarding jealously, that we cannot relocate the airstrip? It doesn't make sense, right? I would love the UPND government to clean up the rot, but we have to be, like the president says, methodical,
Mm-hmm.
right? Methodical in the sense that we have to weigh the costs and benefits of implementing certain decisions.
Yeah.
This one is a big fail. It's a big, big fail. You see that? People have sacrificed their lives to put up a structure. Some people have been building for the last 4 or 5 years. The very little money they earn, they put it towards construction. It's a happy, happy moment for somebody to be given a plot, to dig a foundation, to put a slab, to raise the structures to completion. It's a happy moment. But we have killed the livelihoods of those that owned land near that airstrip.
Yeah. Perry, you wanted to add to that?
Well, yes, for me, basically, I think the timing of this whole thing is wrong because
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll have a by-election in the Copper Belt, right? So it's the timing aspect of it is it could have been done at a later stage. But again, the other issue is that airstrip is gazetted, right? So nothing can be built on that airstrip. So if it means we're supposed to bring down those buildings, the government could have offered compensation because you know that everything was wrong in the past regimes. So you wouldn't even blame the people that built houses there. So
Yeah.
the other alternative was to say, look, we're going to offer you compensation to go and build similar houses at
Mm-hmm.
some other places. You know, the government can even source for land and say, here's a place where we're going to build your land. Here's the money. Whatever you do with the money, that's your own problem. But we are moving you from this land because it's gazetted. And it's very difficult to build in Zambia. Like people have to sacrifice a lot, and to
Mm.
just see somebody just come with the bulldozer and then bring that house down,
Yeah.
it's very painful, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And another point to bear in mind is things were done differently in the previous government. We have just been hearing about how a whole road had been sold off to a company that doesn't actually even exist. Now, the people that I've spoken to on the ground, some of them are widows. Their husbands died a long time ago. They were left with a little money from their pension fund, and they decided to invest this little money. Some person comes along, oh, nalishwa ko bashana baleshisha land niba PF card, babashitisha land. And we're speaking from a privileged position, a position where you understand the legalities and the consequences if you don't follow the law. But some of these people, kube bafet, oh, balishwa ko baleshisha land, and the woman is concerned, oh, I want to secure my children's future. Vashtaka land. Ukusangati, if you actually can hear finef. But obviously that doesn't make it right. But what I'm saying is, what is the point, for instance, in the government sending DMMU to go and erect these tents so that these people whose houses have been demolished to live in, why didn't that process start from the beginning? Councillors from the structures, why didn't they sit down with these people to say, guys, okay, there's a new governor in town. Things that you have done, you've built in the wrong place. Now we need to sit down. There's going to be a meeting at a community hall. You all have to come. And this is, if you don't know how to read or write, or you think language might be a barrier, bring somebody that might be able to help you remember some of the things that will be discussed. Mwabeta wants abantu, you gather, or some sort of indaba, they have a discussion. I want to hear what sort of communication was taking place between local government, Minister of Lands, DMMU itself, as well as the local council. Sadly, the mayor's house was burnt to ashes. I mean, he doesn't, I don't know if it's a she actually, the mayor does not make decisions on their own. So there are a lot of other people, big people, who really should be consulted. And by the looks of things and by what we've heard, very minimal communication has been taking place. the UPND itself, do you think if the UPND, the people on the ground in the structures, if they knew that there are people who they mobilized, Chingola, Copperbelt, we were all in this, helping the youths to try and, mobilize their friends to come and vote. Do you think they knew about this? And if they did, why did they stay quiet? We have been joined by Mr. Mukelevai. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Volinda. Good evening, brothers.
Hello.
Okay, so we're discussing the demolition of houses in Chingola. What's your view?
Well, I just want to maybe beef up to what my colleagues have said earlier to say there was a little bit maybe poor timing. The government ought to have given these people alternatives, or unless we may be talking from without, unless they have already been given such alternatives, which we are.
Sorry, Bom Kalevai, to cut you short. Your sound sounds different. It's a bit rattly.
Okay.
Are you using a device or?
I'm using my cell phone.
Okay. For some reason, there's some rattling. I just wondered if you might be able to fix that.
Okay, maybe it's the chair I'm swinging.
Oh, please don't swing. No, sorry, carry on.
Yes. No, I think the government, the local authorities, I know they want to make a mark. I know after having the meeting with the president, they were all fired up and they wanted to come and, or rather to deliver, to show the president, or rather to show that they also are doing something, they're working. Yes, communication has been made, I believe, because there is no way this government could not just go, or these local authorities could not just go and demolish without having made any prior arrangements or announcements or even warning the people that actually encroached onto these proper lands that are gazetted for either airstrips or other public road use. So there must be a system, and I know that there's no way they could have just woken up, because that's how we want to sound. The whole that has been politicized, that now the government just woke up and just went and start demolishing without prior either warnings or notifications or other things. I believe they have done all those things, and this was a point of no return. So, and also I believe the government, the local authorities are prepared to actually probably mitigate or rather compensate the individuals that are affected. It is not something that we want to paint a picture. So we need to get more information,
Okay.
not just blaming just because they have done it. If they don't act now, when is the government going to act? Probably the timing, yes, due to, I think we should also do away with this issue of, no, we can't do certain things because we are waiting to win some elections or to win some seats because there's some by-election coming. The government should be able to, or the local authorities should be able to work without any interferences by any political whatever affiliations or something. So they have to just work. If those properties were illegally built and the owners knew, those are not poor, those are rich people. If they can afford to build, they have the money, they have the capacity. So they built on illegal, on properties that were not that are not authorized to be built on. Through, of course, we know that the previous regime was corrupt. So and definitely anything that those people did is going to come and is coming back to bite us. And unfortunately, the collateral damages are high, and we are not. The government is supposed to just do their job, I believe, in my opinion. Otherwise, timing, the timing, but when is the right time? That's my question.
Okay.
Mkwa.
Linda, can I go? Wom Kelebai. Uh, let's look at it this way, right? First of all, you've made several assertions. Number one, there's been no communication from the municipality to say that we had engaged these individuals and told them that this is the action we were going to take. There's been no communication, right? So we cannot assert that.
Are we sure about that?
Listen, let me finish, right? There's been no communication. If there was communication, even when these acts are taking place, somebody in the local council would have come up and said, according to circular this is what was decided, this was what was communicated to these people, so this is not a surprise. You see that? Secondly, you assert that for these people to be able to build, then they have money. That is totally wrong. Okay. Here where I am, I mean, I must admit, I'm in a privileged position, but it's taking me 4 or 5 years to build a house. You see that? Why? Because I have other commitments. You see that? Now, those individuals that have built there, where in the books are you finding that confidence to say that for them to be able to build, they have money? People sacrifice. Building is at your own pace. How your pocket allows you to allocate those funds to building a house. You see that? What we're talking about is you talked about an illegality. The question is, what systems are in place to stop these illegalities? Those individuals could be very, very innocent, right? I'll give you a scenario. If you're a councillor and you come to me and tell me that you're selling land, okay, great. Where? You take me to where there's an already established structure, ShopRite, for instance, and you say, this is the land I'm selling. There, I don't even need the law to know that this is impossible. You understand? If you take me to an open field of land and say, this is where the land is, oh, you know what? The first instinct is, oh, great, it is available. Now, we go through the process. Okay, what do you need from me? I need your NRC. You need to sign this form. I'm assuming that this is legit. This is going through the local authority process. There's an offer letter that you are issued by the council. You go to the Ministry of Lands and you pay to accept the offer. There's also what's called, I think it's a treatment of land, something like that. So when all these payments are being made for an illegally acquired piece of land, where is the system? It's the system that is failing our people. Yes, some people must be aware of the law, but guess what? The system itself must be in place to protect and serve our people. This is wrong in all spheres.
Well, may I just reiterate to that? Okay, let Bob Eric go ahead.
Wamukela mtoshwa ntate.
Utozande that Muchwani.
Kiruna walikadi kanyen.
Okay.
Ensha.
I'm going to say Arizona.
And so I just also wanted to argue with you regarding the position that you took, that whoever builds, they have the money to do that. I totally disagree with that. And the other thing that hurts me the most is, look at the people that built houses in Forest 27. The government has not touched that. They said everything is in court and they can't do anything about it. So why not wait? For me, the issue is, why should some Zambians be ordinary Zambians and the other ones be more equal than others? So for me, the timing is, first of all, address the issue and tell them that, okay, this is you've built houses where you're not supposed to. This land is gazetted by the government for an airstrip, right? And then you tell them, up until we reached a consensus that we reached consensus with Forest 27. When we demolish those houses, we're gonna do the same with you, because no. Here's the thing. Those people feel like second-class citizens right now, and when for you to build a house, Kevin already said it, you have to sacrifice. There's always opportunity cost. Other people wanted to go to school, and they said, no, before I go to school, let me just use this money to build a house. And they built houses there. So for me, the best thing that government was supposed to do right now, I know everything was done, like even maybe the way the plots were awarded and all that, was maybe there was a bit of corruption there. I think the corrective action would have been for government to compensate those people and move them.
Yes.
It's not the fault that they bought houses where they're not supposed to kind of like build houses. It's not their fault, but it's the system that was broken. So are you gonna, the system was broken. Whose fault was it? It's government's fault.
Okay.
No,
I
yes, go ahead.
No, I hear you, gentlemen. I know you are hurting because at the manner in which they have executed this program of trying to bring sanity back to life, But we cannot. You cannot turn illegal activities into legal. Whatever these people did, they knew. If they did not know, we have the system is there, gentlemen. The system is there. If you go to Ministry of Land, come again,
gentleman and lady.
Oh yeah, so yeah, because you were not arguing with me, so it was. No, the thing is, yes, lady and gentlemen, the issue is that the system, we have the system and we have the laws, but certain individuals chose to circumvent the law. Certain individuals with their selfish motives, and they wanted, with a political whatever agenda behind, they wanted to go behind, to abrogate the law, and these are the consequences. These people, I believe they were even told. I believe there are not even titles that are issued. If there are titles, they either must have been forged or must have been obtained fraudulently, of course. But the government, or rather the local government, is also under pressure. They want to bring sanity. How are they going to bring sanity if they don't act? When are we going to sit down? I mean, how long will it take? I mean, people are building, and people are still building, actually. They see that people have not even acquired proper documents just because they belong to some certain, or they were offered a plot by a politician or a councillor, by viva voce, by word of mouth. And they go ahead and start erecting buildings. And when the council comes in and asks questions, where are the documents? No, the thing is, we bought from so they cannot go through that when there's a system in place. We have the system. It's the people.
Just a second, Kelvin. I wanted to respond to Wom Kelevai. You posed a very important question. Actually, it was a statement that we should not be speaking from without. These people perhaps have already been compensated. I can tell you this categorically. They have not been compensated. And these people have not been offered alternative accommodation or alternative land to move to. Because I thought we are not arguing about the legalities of this. This is why I started with my little monologue. It's illegal and it's dangerous, because there could be a plane that is in distress. It's directed towards the Chingola airstrip. It could carry all those thousands of people in their sleep as they are sleeping, and they could all perish. So we're not arguing with that, but we're arguing with the process. And the other thing that I want to point out is before all of us kind of starts throwing stones at perhaps the UPND or the president himself, we need to ask ourselves these cardinal questions. Did the president know about this? And if he did, What did he do about it? What sort of mitigating solutions did he offer? Did the UPND on the grassroots, the councillors who are supposed to go down to these people and tell them, look, guys, this is what is happening. These are the plans. What are we going to do about this? We're having, like I said earlier, we need to talk about this. This cannot exist. These houses cannot exist, and this is the decision of the government or the council. Did that happen? No, that did not happen. So we are not speaking from without, and this is the frustrating thing. And to add salt to the injury, the same government that is demolishing these houses is the same government that is erecting camps, tents. Here it's fun to camp. In Europe, it's fun, you know. Back home in the Southern African sun, you're camping. All your stuff are in here. Women, there are some pregnant women who are on their menses. There's no running water in the middle of God knows where, in a tent.
Linda, you make a great point, and quite frankly, I love you, my brother, but it makes I feel sad to hear you speak that way. Quite frankly and honestly, okay, I feel very sad. It's funny that the same government that is demolishing these structures is rushing to provide tents. First of all, DMMU must attend to natural disasters. Is this a natural disaster? No. Is this an act of God? No, it's not. Linda, you asked the question if the president knows. This is a political issue. It's a risky issue politically. If the president didn't know about this act, the minister for local government knew about it. You see that? Because I don't think the municipality in Chingola would have gone ahead with this decision without the knowledge of the minister. When Wom Kenebai asserts that they've been compensated, I don't think that has even happened. Why? Because it would then be hypocritical. In the same vein, you're saying that we need to clean up things. That was an illegality. And then the government should then come and compensate an illegality? Come on, that's hypocritical. They're not going to do that. What we need is sober-mindedness, right? One quick point, Linda. The reason I said that there's been no communication from the local authority to these people to say, this is what we're going to do. If they had done that, these people would have had legal recourse. How is it that those occupying Forest 27 are seeking legal recourse and these people are not? Right?
Okay.
These people were ambushed. Period.
No.
Okay, before I bring you two gentlemen in, I would like to welcome Joseph Nyundu to the program. Joseph, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Okay.
The panel and the viewers. It's been a
Thank
while.
you so much. Okay, it's a heated debate. We don't want to waste any time. Wom Kelevai, you were itching to go. Go for it, and then Perry.
Okay.
You see, me, I'm trying to be also be honest. You know, there were no two ways about this. I believe this government or the local authorities are reasonable enough. They are capable. They are just like us. They are more intelligent, even better than us. You know, they actually have communicated. There's no way we know how risky that could be. Gary Combo together with his PSs, they will be in trouble if they could just start demolishing things without making arrangements or warning or sending letters.
And Gary Combo is the same person that went in a compound and spilled Cachasu brewing. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry. Just a quick point on that one. On the intellect bit, we are not doubting our leaders' intellect. If anything, this is the first government in a long time that can pride itself in possessing intellect. So just to clarify, we're not doubting that. We're thinking about equity and consideration. What consideration was put into this in comparison to what the wealthy we haven't even properly touched on Forest 27. We're going to touch on that.
Yes.
Ruth Mwene has said that Valinda, please also read some comments. I'm coming to the comments. We're going to exhaust them. I want to hear the views of the panelists, and we're definitely going to tackle the comments. And if you're watching, thank you so much. Please kindly share the link, and I will be posting a WhatsApp phone number if anyone wants to phone in and air their views live on air. I've been sent lots of voice notes because it's of the time difference. It's a bit tricky for perhaps people to call in live. So we'll be posting those. Womkeleba, finish your thoughts, then we'll come to Joseph, and then we'll listen to some voice notes.
You see, for Zambian, Turachtasana complain when an action is being taken, even after being warned or being given prior warnings about the action the government is intending to take. We have seen it in several times. We know from the Bachiruba's case, Kumaya Ndabaresha Bachiruba, Yapama 15 Kwacha, we know there was problem. People complained. We shall forever complain. But the issue that I'm trying to say here is that when is it the right time for the government to act and eradicate illegal structures that are built in sensitive areas? Okay. When is it the right time? So, and how did the local authority discover that these people built on those illegal activity, on those properties illegally? They must have checked and found out that these people are illegally, and they were warned, you are building this property illegally, please remove this. And the people reluctantly did not do anything. They thought they're just politicking. And when they act, that's when now we start coming up with this empathetic sentiment.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you,
Forest 27. Forest 27 to Alanda, we know.
Thank you so much for that. But just to tell you that some of these people have lived on those properties longer than you think. Even during Vasata's time, people have been living on these pieces of land that
they demolished. Lungu, they demolished most of the properties. You know that.
The thing is, we have to think about why the council had let them stay there for as long as possible. But Joseph, come in then, Perry, please.
Yes, thank you very much, the panel and the viewers. Very interesting. I'm going to approach this from history. In Zambia, we have two ways we acquire land. It's traditional and state. Ministry of Lands and traditional. Traditional doesn't give title deed. Even if you go through traditional, you go back to the ministry, to the state to get land. So either way, the state has control, whether in the village or in the urban areas, and we can't run away from that. It's fact. Now, how do we end up here? There's an issue of rule of law, due process, and how municipality issues work. And this is something I referred to even the time we were discussing the issue of the telephone booths. I said, what are the functions of any council in the world? It's a standard practice. The councils are in charge of planning, land allocation, everything that involves a municipal jurisdiction is in the hands of the council. It doesn't matter who is president. It's got nothing to do with the president. It's the mayor's job in that city, the councils in the chambers to do the planning, sewage system, security, everything is in the councils. Now, when the local government is bypassed by the executive in terms of functions and power, this is the result that you get. Lack of due process, disregard of the law, and disregard of process. Why are we here? This is not the first time there's demolitions in Zambia. You remember the Lusambo issue in Monali, sorry to mention, where there was a provincial minister directing people to demolish buildings. A provincial minister is never in a position to do that. A minister is never in a position to do that. The issue of planning in any municipal jurisdiction is a job of the council independently. Professionals have to be there to work according to how they know the city is planned, sewage system, roads, network, and everything. Why are we here? We are here because there's been so much changanya, corruption, problems, disregard of humanity and everything. So we end up in this problem we are supposed to address the cause. What is causing this problem? It is not the president's issue. It is because the council has not been given its respect to carry out its duty for planning of the city. That's why we end up here. There's no way you can tell me that I can buy land, build a building, have a title deed, and then it gets demolished. Is that even normal? No. Why? It's because processes were not followed.
Okay.
Something was wrong somewhere. So what I'm trying to say here is let us allow institutional autonomy so that the council can do what it needs to do. The executive does what it needs to do so that these institutions can speak to each other. I don't see how even the president should be involved in the demolition. It's not his jurisdiction. This is an issue of the planners at the council. They're supposed to know where a road is, where an airport is, where a sewage line passes. How did someone build there? How was someone allocated land there? How did it even reach to someone buying one brick and build it on a runway? How? In a normal world. It's because we have allowed wrong processes to go on, and this practice is giving us this result now. We shouldn't even be talking about the president. Minister of Local Government is a policymaker in the local government ministry. He's not even supposed to be on the ground to face who built this. That is an issue of the councillor in that area, in that ward.
Okay,
But
right.
yes.
Oh, thank you.
What I'm trying to say here is let us allow institutions to do the job that they're supposed to do. If we allow that to happen with separate powers, each institution is going to carry out their functions. We can't end up here. This is a lack of due process and guard of everything that involves governance. That's why we're here. It's a
Thank
simple.
you. Thank you so much.
The council is involved, the mayor of that district, of that place. It's got everything to do with the municipality. It's not even a central government issue.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you very much.
Very, very important points that you have raised there. And we have to go back to basics, find out who are these people who are involved in the decision making, who the councillor is. I think that will be quite helpful. So if you are tuning in, you're tuning in from Chingola, kindly let us know who your councillor is, and we will be making contacts with the mayor as well so that we can have a conversation about that. Perry, you had a point to add.
Yes, Linda, thank you for this chance. Again, it's like we are trying to eradicate malaria by spraying insecticide in the house when mosquitoes can bite us outside, right? So for me, has there been an investigation to find out who issued out these plots and who has been arrested? So the issue of demolishing is one thing, but this will continue. What measures are they putting in place to stop this? Because the same people that are issuing out these plots I see in the councils. So we, at least if someone can be brought to book, arrested, then that will serve as a deterrent.
Exactly.
So for me, it's a window dressing technique. You're just trying to say, "Oh, we are working by demolishing." No, the root cause is in the councils. Go there and find out the people that are doing this. Arrest them, and then it will serve as a warning to others.
Thank you very much.
And now, that's what hurts me the most.
Okay, thank you very much. And that point you've just raised, it's reminded me of a point someone made on my social media platform saying, Madam, you're fighting a losing battle. First things first, I am not fighting anyone. It's not my job to do that. I was just pointing out that I think there has to be some equal way of dealing with these things, whether you're poor or rich. And this is the reason why all of us, including those in diaspora, fought tooth and nail, gave our last pennies to see this Hitler Manalmango administration come into power so that we could see a difference. And the president is on the right trajectory. And we want to see these things happen where people have to be treated the same, not just because you're wealthy, you can pay your way out of trouble. And if you're poor, the repercussions are on you. If you commit a crime, you're poor. You commit a crime, you're rich. Same kind of treatment. Now, we're going to pause a little bit. And viewers, take heart. I will come to your comments because there's a lot of them. We're going to listen to an audio And then I'll ask the viewers as well as the panelists to comment on that.
Let's understand what I am.
Let me know if you can hear it, first of all.
Understand what
Just
I am
type in yes.
saying. What I'm saying is this. There is an illegality. We've all agreed on that, on principle. I am not disputing the fact that there is an illegality, and two wrongs never make it right. But the thing is that if you're going to construct a structure on illegal land, the consequences will be demolition. That is agreeable. We're not disputing that. But what I'm saying is this. If you are going to demolish houses, before you do that, establish who sold these plots to these individuals. Were they officials, representatives selling on behalf of the municipality? Once it is established, you can now simultaneously prosecute these people. One, by the person who sold the land, who received the money, because then they will have two cases. They will have case, first of all, for falsely obtaining money by false pretense that they are representatives of the municipality. So we would have seen a situation where council officials would have gone in, if they were the ones part and parcel of the sale, for prosecution. Number two, we would have seen the building inspectors from the municipality being summoned to the anti-corruption agency to find out how and why they allowed for structures to be illegally erected. Number three, we would have now gone to the people to tell them you constructed land illegally by constructing on land that has not been earmarked for development. So there were three-pronged attack that our Minister of Home Affairs and the ZAF commander should have addressed. By demolishing houses, you are just allowing the opposition to be empathetic towards the cause, because you are sending a DMMU to do what? To provide tents for houses that you've destroyed. It's pointless. Don't send DMM. That's a waste of resources. Those resources that we want to use by sending DMM, let's use those resources to send LCC team to Chingola to be able to prosecute those individuals that sold the land. Also go to the council, get the building inspectors that were present at the time, summon them for not inspecting and doing their due diligence. So we have a three-pronged approach. We have demolition going on. We have those two people from the council, the building inspectors, and the people that sold the land. That's what we're saying. I am not in agreement to say build structures less than 500 meters from any airstrip. I know it is a security risk. But what I'm saying is that let's do this comprehensively, different from the way the past kebab was doing it. I'm not saying or supporting illegality. Let's understand one thing, my Lozi partner.
2 years ago, and shown land. So, shown land where we were selling land. She went there. She was like, "Oh, this is close to where I stay. Oh, this is close to town. I need to construct." So when she went with the brother to check on the same land, she was like, "In your right mind, do you think that this is a proper place for a plot to be set up? Where there's a stream running here and you want to set up a plot here?" So whatever pennies you have parted away, whatever monies you have parted away, that's the end. You're not going to get this plot. So we can't just restrict it to the poor people in inverted commas. Poor people in inverted commas. I'm putting it in inverted commas because poor people cannot construct houses up to roof level. They construct mud houses. The houses I saw there in Kasombe,
Cut it.
bedroom houses. So you can't say they are poor. So at the end of the day, sensitization is needed. Enforcements of the laws are needed. We shouldn't allow an environment where these cadres, these vultures, prey on unsuspecting people. Okay.
Okay, I will pause that for now. And Kelvin was itching, trying to comment as the audio, and I was just thinking, you better not do that.
guys.
Yeah, so we'll start with you.
I'm sad. That voice, the last one, sounds very familiar.
Okay.
It must be a doctor or somebody. I won't mention. I won't
So
mention.
when I
the name.
was saying, just to add to Kelevai, when I was saying that I have researched quite extensively, speaking to the people on the ground to find out who's spoken to who, including the Chipani itself, both ends, to try and see who has been speaking to who. And not many people know exactly what is going on, which is quite concerning in itself.
Yeah.
Kelvin.
Let me address the issue of those people that are building are not poor, because a poor person cannot do that. That's not true.
I liked that point.
They're
I saw him smiling.
They're intelligent, poor people, right? Who know that if I make 2 kwacha, I want to save 15 ngwe towards building. I don't care how long it takes me. You see that? But in this instance, that is not the only argument. You understand, Linda? The guy that spoke before, he brought up salient points, right? How is it that this cadre, excited PF cadre, they're being called, it takes a bunch of people and says, hey, buy this land, right? These people buy this land illegally and give this cadre money. But it doesn't end there, right? The next step is for these individuals to make payments. Why are the councils accepting payments on illegally allocated land? Let me tell you this. When a chunk of land is identified for development, housing development, for instance, right? Yes, the council surveyors will go and do their surveying and pinpoint, right? They'll bring, the surveyed land back into their system now for allocation. So how is it, if this land was illegally allocated, how is it that the council was receiving payments on illegally allocated land? How is it that the Ministry of Lands has been receiving payments on these illegally allocated plots? It doesn't make sense. The failure in this whole thing, right? Yes, the people that bought this land are culpable, but the failure is the system. The system has failed us. And if we as a people are truthful to ourselves, we must correct the system going forward.
Okay. I will let Kelevai. Thank you very much, Kelvin. That was an important addition to that audio. Kelevai, do you have anything to add to that? I want to open up the conversation to the viewers, because they're going to crucify me. There's so many messages here. Did you have a quick sentiment then, Perry and Joseph, very quickly?
Yes.
Commenting on the audios.
Can I come in?
It takes 2 to tango. Wolinda. I'll speak it from the contractual point of view. Okay, these were contracts, okay, signed between individuals. There was a offer, the seller, and the person that accepted the offers, okay, and they went ahead and produced money to purchase before even conducting a search or investigating whether this property is a clean property or it's there are a lot of encumbrances on a property. But they went ahead and purchased. And today, when we discovered that they purchased a wrong property, okay, illegally, their money is gone, and whatever investment they put on, it's now questionable. They may lose it. They have the duty themselves to pursue those avenues. We are not saying they should not. They know who they gave the money to. They know who they dealt with. If it's the local authority, like what Kelvin put it, if they know that it's the local authority that dealt with their matters, the local authority are not immune from being prosecuted or from being sued in their individual capacity. They can actually sue them to recover whatever money. It is also imperative that we tell the people that don't spend money carelessly, the hard-earned money carelessly, or pay people just because they come to you and flash to say that we have a property without even doing investigation in individual capacity.
Okay.
So let them sue If they have a case, let them sue the government. Let them sue. You can sue the government.
You can sue the government, the process, the wheels of justice takes a long time. And some of these people don't even know where to start from.
No. They know.
Like I
Well,
said,
Linda,
not all of them.
Ignorance is not a defense in the court of law.
Ignorance is not bliss. It is very true. You're very right there. But we have to appreciate that it's not everyone who is speaking from the position of privilege that they know exactly what the procedure is. Perry, you are muted. Maybe we should keep Perry muted, right?
Can I come in?
Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was a little bit offended when Mkeleva said ignorance.
Oh, please don't take offense.
No. The thing is,
let's debate, but don't take offense.
We are looking at our people. Some of them are not literate, but they have that mindset of trying to acquire property.
Perry, what we call that copper belt, amano ya chifiariro.
Exactly. So now, my main issue is one. I think there's a disconnect between the local government, Minister of Land, and the councils, right? Because they are supposed to administer land audits, and these land audits are supposed to catch these things before even a house is erected. Okay, so for me, I think there's a breakdown in the policies and procedures, including the law. So again, people will say that, okay, the breakdown came up because of rampant corruption in the PF regime. But what I want to do, and this is the problem that I have with the UPND, okay, they want to resolve problems using the same policies that cause them problems. So that's the biggest.
And the people who are still in the system.
Exactly. Even the policies and procedures, you are supposed to a complete overhaul.
Okay.
We are not supposed to have these issues in 2022.
Okay.
So
thank you very much.
You are trying to solve problems using the same people that caused the problem.
Okay.
And this is affecting the poor citizenry.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I know Mr. Mkeleva is pro UPND. I'm UPND, borderline UPND, but when it's wrong, I say it's wrong.
Joseph, thank you very much, Perry.
Yes,
I'm not pro UPND.
You do not have the floor.
Sorry, I was just. My apologies.
Can I be protected, the chair?
Your protected time, Joseph.
Yes. I'll tie in with what Mr. Perry said, Manduna. No, this is the problem. And I'll always go back to basics. There is no way. I'll give you an example. I'm sorry to divert. I hope we have time. It's an issue of the 48 houses. There's no way a person pays ZESCO bills, got title deed, built a house, and no one knows who the owner is. It's the same situation. It's due process. There is always a paper trail to everything.
Yeah.
Let the Linda, here in England, you know how things happen, as everywhere else in a developed democracy. And one thing I've always said is Africa is very lucky to have references where we can refer to say in Canada it's done like this, in UK it's done like this. We are very privileged. We have all the developed world around us. All we need is choose one model and refer to it. And I don't know why we always don't get the basics right. The municipal council has to do its job. And in every democracy, even in a dictatorship, the municipal council is what gives service delivery. Hygiene in the cities, lighting, land allocation, city planning. Why is it difficult? Even in a situation where we have one of the most intelligent presidents in the world, it has nothing to do with him. This is purely a local government issue. Somebody bought land. Me, I can't even believe in a normal world. Honestly, I'm sorry to sound like this. I can't believe that in a normal world, someone can build on an airport runway. I can't even believe it. Why? It's because it's the most extraordinary thing you can ever do in a normal democracy. How would you even end up building on a runway, on an airport? How did you end up there? Why? Due process, rule of law, disregard of guidelines, statutory instruments, and how police works. The municipal council, the mayors, the councillors are the bosses of city service delivery issues. It's got nothing to do with central government. for central government to find itself on the ground in this, it means everything has gone wrong. And if we refer back to last week when the president was addressing the local government, this is exactly what he noticed. Something has been going wrong. There's been a wrong culture to approach problems. And if we do not define what the problem is, we cannot define what the solution should be. What is the solution here? Let the councils do what they should do. Let them do the city planning with their experts, engineers, scientists, whoever is at the council. Let them do what they need to do. Let them tell you, you can't build here because there's a sewer line. You can't put here because there's an electric line. Because that was disrespected. We are here. And the solution to this is very simple. Let the councils be given the autonomy to do their planning. They know where this passes, where this shouldn't pass. So we are here discussing like this. Why? Because we're getting where the solution is. The councils have forgotten. Let them be given their mandate to do their job. We will not have.
And when just to add on, Volinda, and when individuals are affected as a result of the councils performing their duties, their job, the individuals, the particular people, have the right and mandate to institute legal proceedings against the local authority.
Those legal proceedings can be instituted, but the issue is there a legal waiver? Is there a safe net that is safeguarding the plight of these people? Because it all goes back to rule of law. What has been laid down constitutionally so that when you illegally buy land and it happens that there's a grievance over land issue, you are going to be protected. Because we can emotionally approach this issue, but what is at stake at law? What does the law say? What does the SI unit say? What does policy say? So we need to have a blueprint that protects our citizens. And this is what I'm saying. This issue of voting a councillor, voting a mayor on the usual get along, go along process.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I'm very mindful of the time. We don't want to run out of time without exhausting the viewers. We haven't even touched any of them. I'll give you.
If I ask permission,
go on.
Can we hold our leaders to account that everything they do should be in the interest of the Zambian people and not their office? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very important points there. Now, viewers, if you have just joined us, we are having a peculiar episode of the Linda Banks Show, completely different, because there are some pertinent issues that we needed to discuss. We haven't even touched on the others, but I'm very aware that this is a sore subject and a lot of people want to have this exhausted. So we are opening up Umlabasa, the airwaves, if you like. Send your questions and I will send the link again. If you want to come on, please do so, but I'm aware that some of you would rather just send the questions. I've been receiving lots of voice notes, which is great. Let's start with Stella. Stella, are we saying that council demolished houses without a court order? That's a very good point. So would be quite good for the councils, whoever is in charge of, whoever is looking at this case, this particular one, to actually get in touch with us so that we're giving them an opportunity to speak for themselves instead of just what we have received from the ground. Would be quite nice. And will also be lovely to hear from the local government, actually. Honorable Nkombo or anyone else from that department will be quite nice. So that's Stella. Let's have a look at who else. Commissioner of Land Office should begin to see to serving interest of the people. I think somebody else mentioned this. Chester, you're very right. And Inonge is just saying she's in Woodlands. Oh my goodness, this is a very long one. Gentlemen, as we're reading through the questions, if you feel you want to comment on one, just indicate by popping your hand up. And I'm sure all of you will be like popping your hands up very, at the same time. And I want you to start thinking on Forest 27 as I'm looking through viewers' questions and comments. Now, this is a long one. Ham said, in as much as I'm a praise singer, Linda, the big difference is that as praise singers, we don't support anything. It really is heartbreaking seeing the poor ones are affected, whilst the rich are smiling in Forest 27. We don't support illegalities, but let these laws be applied equally. We were promised that Forest 27 will be demolished, but till now, nothing is happening. What's there in Forest 27 which makes these so-called laws to be toothless? These guys from Forest 27, they don't vote, but the same. Yeah, I think we get the point that Hams is trying to put across. Joseph, you wanted to comment on that?
Yes, I'm hungry for that.
Okay.
First of all, what is Forest 27? Forest 27 is a water aquifer. It's a water reservoir in the underground to conserve the source of water supply in a locality. Now, there's a similar situation that happened in Kenya, where President Kenyatta ordered the demolition of buildings on such a location. But that's just a reference point to democracy. But as Zambians, Forest 27, just as also where East Park is and all those are water aquifers, there's a couple of them. We need to conserve these under environmental conservation so that we protect the environment and also.
I think are you there?
Yeah, and I'm building this point to get back to Forest 27. Okay, let me go direct.
Yeah.
Building on a Forest 27, all terms.
We have lost Joseph again. Okay. I've got.
Can you hear me?
You're back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just summarize it? We have got hundreds of messages.
So demolishing houses on Forest 27, as pronounced by one of the officials who is now a minister, yes, morally and socially, emotionally, people can say, why is it not happening? But there are legalities involved there. If someone has a title on there, whether illegally or immorally given, you cannot just go in and do that. There will be legal consequences. So those are procedures which government should clarify. But what I'm trying to say is doing anything on a water aquifer is against the very fabric of protecting your citizens in terms of environmental protection.
Thank you.
I can't go into how emotional people about it, but it's wrong. All uncertain terms. It's very wrong.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now I'm just reading a sentiment from Cullen, who is one of our colleagues. And oh gosh, it's a long one, but I'll try and summarize this. It seems everyone is talking about Forest 27, a perceived area of rich or wealth in reference to demolished houses in Kasompe of Chingola. Let's help each other with facts away from the political lenses. Firstly, it's a fact that the Chingola Council was not involved in the allocation of plots at the airstrip, but cadres were. So that's the first point that he makes. This is an established fact because none of the affected residents have produced documentation to the effects that he or her bought land, the council, from the council or Ministry of Lands. So that answers a few questions that you guys had. So none of these guys bought this land in the straight way, in the legal way, but it was through cadres, hence why there are no documents. So we're clear on that, right? So all the plots were being sold by PF cadres. Secondly, all of us, including the affected residents, know that you can't build near an airport or airstrip. Because imagine if a plane overshoots and runs and over the runway, and I think we get the point. It will be catastrophic. So to make matters worse, the land of all the 300 people who built their houses was on title. You can't just wake up one day and build on someone else's property and expect to be spared the following day. Yes, people want to build, but build on the right land, not somebody else's land. I hear people saying the airstrip could have been relocated elsewhere. Another point one of you guys made. In the first place, why didn't the people relocate elsewhere or build houses where they had titled on private or titled property? We should what does it say? Why should we be legalizing illegalities? I think we've covered all those things. So we should never be seen to be legalizing illegalities. I think we've established that fact. No one is trying to do that. Well, thank you so much, Cullen, for that. We'll go back to the viewers because the questions and sentiments are coming in thick and fast. I think what I'll do is I'll read 3, and then if anyone wants to comment on that, just pop your hand up, please. We have Pythias. Is it Pythias? That is like a Latin name or Greek name. Watching from Liberia. Goodness. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Good evening, Sister Linda. Watching from Colorado Springs. Okay. Yeah. Lovely that you could join us. You have demolished our houses. Okay. So sorry to hear that. If you have anything else to add to that, Babalia, please feel free to get in touch. We have Davis. Miss Banks, we might not be the biggest fans of Edgar Chagwa Lungu, but Forest 27 is a court, it's a court issue. The other one is just counsel. Okay. Someone says no sounds. This was a long time ago. I hope you can hear me, you guys. Otherwise, all that talking and you have not heard anything, that would be frustrating. Imagine that. I would have been talking in vain. Are we saying that council demolished the houses without? Okay, we saw that. That's from Stella. Commissioner of Land Office should begin to be seen. Okay, I think we saw that again. Gosh, the comments are coming thick and fast, and there's so many. Keep them coming. Gentlemen, is there anything that was pressing that you, before we go to the next audio? Mom Keleba, you had your hand popped up.
Ni bolinda nisha kina apeke kuta na abuela. When we want to talk about Forest 27, I know the government actually, they were looking forward, the Negari Combo, I believe they were looking forward to start demolishing. Unfortunately, sometimes like I said, it takes 2 to tango. The other part also, the people that own those properties with their investment have also realized to say, apanga tuapwala labala tuona wila mayanda. Let's use the law. So I believe we cannot even comment further because if the matters are in court, we can simply say, no, we will wait until the cases are resolved in the courts of law. Otherwise, I believe there's some injunctions proceedings that have been done by per Forest 27 and the matters are in court. Unlike I am my andavale kula my strips. Na my strip yo yali bapataito ya strip yali bapataito. So muntunga ya kula pataito pa ya strip ya vene or ya chalo. Then what remedies do you want? Murefu abese antamukwete na mapepa. Elo bese ba milombe yo funyeni ngandei mutwale kokumbali then hawe mayo kale batambira okubeba nga kale baikelepo abantu kale bali bebere n'okubeba. I think they have been warned several times. Ayamayanda mwashita kuma cadres tabakweta ama titles apa bakesa myonna wila mayanda nga boma yaisa, but people chose to look the other way around. If when Nilungu, what has happened? So they've decided, the local authority, not the central government, the local government decided to go and demolish. Yes, they have their own bylaws. They don't have to wait for court order. They can decide.
Next audio.
I agree with you, but my quick audio will be this. I try to keep my audios as short as possible. My question is this, and I have just written to the Honorable Minister Tali in charge of communication. I'm also getting the ZAF commander's number just now. And I'm going to raise concern very clearly. I stand on this fact that it is an illegality to construct any structure in an area less than the designated 500 meters from any asset landing bay. I agree. But what I'm saying is that as we are demolishing these homes, can we also quickly prosecute the building inspectors, because there's no structure that can go up without a building inspector's know or say so. The building inspectors should have stopped the construction from foundation itself to stop any illegal activity. They should also be prosecuted for allowing an illegality that they superintend over in their area of department. I think. So whatever decisions that we make, we need to balance the decisions. It's an illegality to construct any building, absolutely. And this is where we needed the political advisor, Levi Ngoma, to look at the political aspect of it. It is a security concern. It is a security move. I agree with him. I am a military person, and I respect intelligence and the nature and sensitivity of such institutions. But also I'm saying, on the political side of you, we have lost votes in that part of Kasombe. Chingola overwhelmingly voted for UPND. So whatever decisions that we make, we need to balance the decisions. It's an illegality to construct any building, any structure. But I'm saying this, people will be more pleased if they see that those people that sold them these pieces of land are also prosecuted. People will also be pleased as when they make these purchases, before they can start constructing, the building inspectors come and say, no, this is an illegal place. This is illegal construction. This land has not been earmarked for development. I understand we're coming from a regime that allowed these things to happen. But in the refinement of things, let's be very careful what we do as a political party. Let's be very, very careful. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep my audios under 2 minutes. Any audio above 2 minutes is a bit too long for people to listen to.
I like that ethos. Short videos, short audios even. That is echoed, the sentiment in the audio is echoed by Chester. He is tempering with the political lifespan of the UPND by being too academic. A lot of people, like on my page, have been castigating in terms of we should not be thinking about votes. But I mean, it goes without saying, it's a political party. You have to, there has to be somebody. That's why you have political advisors. There has to be someone, perhaps not the entire government machinery, thinking and worrying about votes and making decisions based on who will not be voted for in 2026. But there's someone whose sole jurisdiction, sole job is to ensure that the longevity of a party happens, the longevity of a government happens, obviously without focusing on it. Like, we can't make any decisions based on votes. So I agree with those sentiments, but many people don't. Any views, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I speak?
Yep.
I'll be very interested in. I've written down, actually, as the gentleman was speaking.
Make it snappy so that we all have. We are nearly heading towards 2 hours, which is too much talking.
The issue of municipal function has nothing to do with a political advisor to the president. I'll keep saying this, please. This matter we're discussing is an issue of the local government. It's not. I think
everyone knows that. Everybody knows that.
So can the council in that area be investigated and this matter is brought to book? It's simple. There's somebody who's a mayor there. If not, there's somebody who's a councillor there. If not, there's an MP there. If not, there is a council chairperson. Can somebody in that ward where that airport is exculpate themselves, whether they took over or handed over? Can somebody be held accountable for how did such a sensitive part of land be found to be in such a fracas? It's simple. It's got nothing to do with status in the president. Let the person who did that be found accountable and then be subjected to law in accordance to the policy of the municipality in that area and what the law are. It's as simple as
Mr. Nyundu, what you're propagating is the ideal situation. And I agree with you, right? There's no way you're going to detach central government from this issue, okay? Minister of Local Government, Gary Nkombo, physically went into a compound and instructed council officials to spill the illicit brew, cachasu. How then are we detaching central government from this issue now? I think the biggest point here is the system has failed our people. it has failed our people. Before the demolishing is done, there has to be due process afforded to our people. We are not supporting illegalities. The guy is absolutely spot on, and I'm not supporting illegalities. But the question that keeps ringing in my mind is, how is it that these people have been making payments to the council? How? Are you telling me that the council doesn't have a database of land that is undeveloped, that is due to be given out for development? How is it that I can obtain a piece of land illegally, but then still go and pay rates? How can I obtain a piece of land illegally, but still be able to connect power through ZESCO? You see, these are the things that are disturbing so much, and we need an overhaul of the system. We need to enforce policies, procedures, processes. We need to do those things. Why? If we don't do that, it will continue. I've always said that we cannot rely on the goodwill of a president, for instance. We have to rely on the strength of institutions as a country. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me come to that.
Joseph, just a second. The person on the screen, it's their time. I'll give you your moment, because I'm looking. You know what I did today? I had a clock so that I can see who's had more airtime to make it. We're talking about equity, fairness, and all that jazz. Bom Kelevai.
Thank you, Wolinda. Nitumezi. You know, namwalalenga ndambo kulande chilozi nomba. Nakambola masilos. You know.
Go for it.
You know, it's a little bit sad to hear that the local authorities, if they act, and the government in office may end up losing their elections, their votes, because of the manner in which they have executed they're trying to implement, they're trying to bring sanity into, for the local authorities to have gone to demolish those properties. I believe they must have checked, they must have seen, they must have records, even to know what properties to demolish. They have not demolished everything. They have demolished those that don't even appear on their plans, because that's what was happening. That was what was happening. If you go on the ground, you find that there are properties that were erected that have no records whatsoever, but they are there. And for the local authority to even have swung in to go and demolish, I believe they must have done their due process. They may have even talked to the people. So we can speculate here or there, but we need to just have facts. Let's go on the ground and speak to the people. Let's not just listen to people who are busy crying just because they are affected. They may have been told, and some people are stubborn. Much of we sympathize with people that are homeless. I believe that's where probably the government came in to provide some kind of assistance to those affected, because those properties were not on record.
Okay,
thank you
very much. Just on your point about going on the ground, we have gone on the ground, perhaps not as extensively as if you're there. We do have a family member, so to speak. People are not prepared to speak on camera, but they have been able to speak nonetheless. So just to reassure people who may go with the notion that we're just speaking from without, we have made extensive contact. I want to look at the point before Perry comes in from Lily, who says, Linda, you could have brought people from the council. This is the wrong panel. I can assure you, and Wom Keleva is agreeing vigorously, I can assure you, I sound like Sambo. I can assure you, I can assure you that we did endeavor to do that, and no one was willing to come. So we did make efforts to do that. And Lily, if you are the right member of the panel, perhaps please avail yourself. The link has been sent. I do not appreciate you demeaning my panel. I think they're quite a force to reckon with, my panel there. But if you feel you can add something special, a little bit of chakalaka, please, the link is there. Come and join and add your sentiments. But thank you very much for that point. Baper, you're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to what my father Wamkelawai has said regarding the timing of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I believe that I think you agree with me as well that the wheel that makes the loudest noise gets the attention, right? So when you look at the UPND and the PF are going to feast on this, and this will affect because people are going to believe what the PF is going to sell, because whatever they are selling mostly, it sells, So that's why people are saying that this was done at the wrong time, because they are looking at how these guys are able to peddle the falsehood, and then that the mud that they throw sticks. So I just wanted to clear that one. I'm not against you. I'm just trying to for lack of a better term, say elucidate on why people are saying it was done at the wrong time. And
Litumes for that correction.
Yeah, can I?
Thank you very much, Perry. I was very keen to see Oscar Pombo join us, but Oscar mlachta complained. Leon said, "No, you don't share the link. The link is there. Please come." Yeah, and I was really curious as to hear what your views are on this. I'm really interested because I know you're passionate about the welfare of our people. So if you're able to join, the link is there. Please feel free to do so. Joseph, 2 minutes,
Yes.
please.
Yeah, in 30 seconds before the 2 minutes. Okay. So there's a rule of
30 seconds, even better.
No. 30 seconds of this into the 2 minutes. So there's rule of law, there's timing, there's capital, there's control, there's politics, and there's interest groups. Now, all we are discussing here is a local government issue. People wrongly allocated land where it shouldn't have been. Where is it going around? We are transitioning from a rampantly corrupt, infested regime. And I'm sorry to say the truth, everyone knows. But how do we get out of this? What we're dealing with here is how are we getting out of this balloon of corruption that the regime that is new is dealing with. These are the consequences. It's damage control and rebuilding of rule of law, economy and everything. And we can't run away from that. We are dealing with the consequences of what the previous regime did. I can't believe in a normal world myself that land was allocated on a runway of an airport. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I think we've established that fact. Yeah.
Going forward is
going forward.
Like the president directed and reminded people in the municipal service that you are there as the direct contact to the people. So anybody that was involved in this fracas should be held accountable, historically, presently, going forward. There's someone somewhere who signed something to say you have bought a land. The land was assessed, environmental impact assessment approved. There's somebody who did something with a death stamp. Let them be followed. Let them be brought to book. Let them explain according to what the laws, guidelines, and SI units say. It's simple as that. If they can be brought before the law, this is what the law says in the books of the local government. You did not follow the law. You allocated land on a runway. This was wrong. Is it an illegality or an irregularity? Does it need policy change or prosecution? Simple as it is. We don't need to even write a thesis about this. It's as simple as it is. What does the law say?
Yeah.
If the law says you need prosecution, police come in and do it. If the law says policy change, let the chamber sit and debate. So this is, there's no common sense. I'm
Thank
from
you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Common sense is policy direction. That's simple as it is. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hams, our beloved president has been categorical, saying that don't support me when something is wrong. He's has been done correct. Oh yeah, I think it says correct us if we are wrong. That's what we're for. So, basically, I think he's trying to say the president has given everyone the liberty to correct if they see, gosh, these freedoms we're enjoying in the new dawn, we can correct. Even I heard the Minister of Information say, which was quite hilarious, I found it tickled me a lot, even the people who should not be talking are talking. I thought that was quite funny because of these freedoms that we're enjoying now, gentlemen, and lady me. We are literally way over our time. I wanted for us to touch very briefly on other topics, because we've literally just talked about one topic, which was a very important one, and I wanted us to do it justice. The president had a special interview with the guys from Hot FM. Now, do you think the interview was hot enough? Was it sizzling enough, or was it a cold FM? As some people have been teasing. Let's start with how many of you actually managed to follow it before I put you on the spot?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Joseph, yeah. Was it hot or was it cold?
I think the media team that went to the president didn't do due diligence. They had, when you interview the head of state, that's a golden opportunity.
It's a scoop. Yeah.
You need to make sure, it's like your dissertation in uni. You need to make sure you say what you think about what you're studying. You exhaust everything, but they didn't do diligence. The president is a very smart man for his job. He's well accomplished and qualified for the job, probably too small for him. But they did not help him to bring out what he needed to. They were supposed to be hit. Linda, you are one of an accomplished interviewer I've ever seen. You know how to hit someone to bring something. They should have done that.
Thank you. I'm sure you have to say that. Otherwise,
never heard me
otherwise I'll get you off. You have to batter me up because I'm here.
Mr. Nyundu, that's because you've never heard me interview anybody.
Yes, there is that as well.
Oh no, I need to follow you, Manduna. I need to follow you. But Linda, I wish you were on that panel that day, because knowing you, you would have helped. No, this is not about the journalist and the president. It's about the people. When a journalist is with a president making an interview, how is it helping the people? And the journalists, they did the best, but I think they should be helped to do better. I don't want to condemn them, but I would rather help them to do better. That's what I can say.
Perry?
They are the best opportunity of their lifetime. To interview a Republican president. It's a golden opportunity.
It's a privilege. It's a scoop for the radio station as well.
The media is the fourth state of governance.
Absolutely.
Yes. So they should have done due diligence to help the citizens to get something out of the president. Because the president spoke a lot. Because he realized that he wasn't getting hit like he expected. So he was bringing it out at will. But someone should have pushed it in him to push him to the corner, and which is normal in a democracy. It's not malice. It's not attack. No, it is normal in a democracy, because the free speech is a constitutional liberty. So
absolutely. Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Perry.
Well, maybe just to be fair, though, I think the president asked for the questions to be sent to him in advance. So do we know that for a fact? I think he was over-prepared. But again, I'll agree with him on the other hand, because I wanted them to ask him why the deck lady wasn't suspended, and the Minister of Home Affairs.
Perry, you're beginning to sound like Tayali about this deck thing. Are we all right?
No. For me, it's about setting a precedent. What I wanted to hear was that an investigation has been done and she's not found wanting. You're setting a precedent, right? So, and that's what I wanted to hear, because the problem is that I have no problem with the president, right? I would never ask for anybody better than him at this point, But my fear is that there are other people that are not absorbing his core values while he's in government, and those people need to be let go. And sorry, I'm digressing, but we need some reshuffles in that in his cabinet. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I wouldn't be surprised, quite frankly, if there were any reshuffles. Who knows? The president isn't he makes his own decisions, and he's at liberty to make the decisions that he's going to make. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were any moves, change, different pieces going in different directions, because I think that keeps things fresh. I'll give you an example of the Johnson administration here. It was quite shocking. Everyone knew what team was very close to Boris, but he managed to just scatter them because they weren't, not that they weren't intelligent or they weren't competent, it's just that their skill sets were not suited for the positions that they were in, and he decided to move them. And it was at that point people started respecting our prime minister, because they thought, goodness, this is his best friend from Ethan, and he's moved him. So I think sometimes it's important to move those chess pieces to ensure that there's effective running of government. Otherwise, everyone will be looking, the back stops at him. It stops with him. If something goes wrong, everyone will be looking at him and saying, government is not running effectively. It's because of you. And yet it's because of those pieces. Gentlemen, we have come to the end of the program, and thank you so much for having joined me. Viewers, if you're just coming in, sorry, we have been talking for quite an awful long time, and there are still about 400 people just joining in, which is just great. This has been a very informal program, not the usual formal stuff that we do. We have been talking about the demolition of the houses in Chingola, and very slightly talked about the interview the president had. I think he came out well. I mean, the president had a field day. He was eloquent. He was amazing at defending his records and the campaign promises that he had made to the people of Zambia. The only thing that I would say is I think we missed, the interviewers missed a trick, missed an opportunity to push back on certain things. I would have loved to hear more about his wealth, for instance. He's been talking about due diligence and his predecessor, what the predecessor possessed, and some ministers, how much wealth they amassed in a short period of time. This was a great time for us to know what the president is worth, where he keeps his moolah. It's been assumed that he keeps his money in offshore accounts. If, for instance, money grows, if he suddenly became a billionaire in dollars or in pounds, people should be able to know that this has not happened as a result of him being the Republican president, and just as a result of him being the amazing businessman that he is. So I think a lot of opportunities were missed to be on certain things, but never mind. I'm sure there'll be another opportunity. Thank you so much for having joined us. I've been your host, Linda Banks, and this has been TV Backwards. Good night, God bless you, and God bless our country.